Two shocking moments rocked the Brown family, and silence became louder than words. Christine's game-changing remark about Kody and David went viral, sending the sister wives fandom into a frenzy. But it wasn't just her words. What happened when Kody was left hanging by Meri and Janelle on a Zoom call? Was this the beginning of the end for the sister wives family? Tonight, we unravel the truth behind the silence, the tensions, and what this could mean for the future of the Brown family. Part 1. The Brown family, known for its unconventional relationships and deeply personal stories that have captivated audiences for years. But over the past few seasons, one relationship has been at the center of every conversation: Christine's complicated, turbulent marriage to Kody Brown. Once a close-knit unit, Christine and Kody's marriage faced insurmountable obstacles, leading to a painful divorce that shocked fans. But in the aftermath, Christine found a strength that no one expected. In the wake of their split, Christine's transformation has been nothing short of inspiring. Gone was the shy, unsure woman from earlier seasons. Now she was confident, empowered, and more authentic than ever before. And in that transformation, something magical happened. Her humor. What started as a lighthearted jab, a joke about her new husband David and her ex-husband Kody, quickly escalated into a viral sensation. But it wasn't just the humor that caught people's attention. It was the delivery, the confidence in her voice. Christine had done what many women only dream of. She took control of her narrative, made it her own, and invited her audience to laugh along with her. But behind the laughter was a story of resilience, heartache, and self-discovery. Christine's brother-husband's remark didn't just come out of nowhere. It was a culmination of years of struggle, growth, and the realization that she didn't need anyone to define her worth, least of all Kody. For years, Christine had been part of a polygamous family where she often felt overlooked and undervalued. Kody's favoritism toward Robin, the youngest wife, left Christine questioning her place in the family. And when she finally left Kody, it wasn't just a divorce. It was an act of liberation. Christine had taken back control of her own life. But as she stepped into a new chapter with David, it was clear that the old Christine had been replaced by someone unafraid to embrace joy, humor, and even defiance. And that's exactly what she did when she casually dropped her now infamous brother-husband's line. The joke was more than just a funny line. It was a declaration, a new Christine, confident in herself, her relationships, and the freedom she had gained. But as the internet erupted with memes, reactions, and debates, one question loomed large. Was it really just a joke? Or was Christine finally showing us the woman she was always meant to be, free from the shadow of Kody? The internet exploded. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. Some cheered Christine's bravery, while others were skeptical. Was this the Christine fans had been waiting for? Or was she simply putting on a show for the cameras? Either way, it was clear that this single moment had changed everything. Not everyone was on board with Christine's comment. Some fans felt that it was too harsh, too revealing of family secrets, while others found it empowering. The backlash was swift, with critics questioning whether it was right for Christine to make light of her past marriage so publicly. Was it a step too far? Or was it a necessary reclaiming of her voice? In an exclusive interview, Christine responded to the backlash. "It was never about hurting anyone," she said. "It was about me, finding the courage to laugh at my life and finding peace in my new chapter." Christine's brother-husband's moment was not just a joke. It was a turning point. A point where she embraced the narrative of her own life and showed the world that she was more than just a wife, more than just a mother, more than just a character on a reality show. And in the end, the most important lesson Christine taught us wasn't about her ex-husband or her new love. It was about embracing your journey, owning your truth, and above all, laughing along the way. What do you think? Was Christine's brother-husband's moment the breakthrough we've all been waiting for? Or was it a misstep in her journey? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Part 2. For years, fans have watched the Brown family navigate the complexities of polygamy. Multiple wives, multiple personalities, one man at the center of it all. But over the seasons, cracks have started to form. First came the tension with Christine, then the distance with Robin. But now, Meri and Janelle? Their relationship with Kody has reached a boiling point. Meri and Kody's marriage has been under scrutiny for a while now, marked by emotional strain, distance, and unresolved issues. Janelle, on the other hand, has been the calm in the storm, until now. This Zoom call, an ordinary moment for many, became the battleground for something deeper: frustration, pain, and unspoken words. When Kody asked his wives for their opinions, he was met with an eerie silence. This wasn't the first time tensions had simmered beneath the surface, but the silence spoke volumes. It was as if Meri and Janelle were no longer willing to pretend, no longer willing to put on a mask for the sake of family. For Kody, this silence was a stark contrast to the man who had once been at the center of a close-knit family. But for Meri and Janelle, it was the only way they knew how to express their growing frustration. Years of neglect, unmet needs, and emotional exhaustion had built to this moment. Meri, who had once been Kody's first wife, has felt overlooked and undervalued for years. Janelle, always the practical one, has faced years of neglect, as Kody increasingly favors Robin, his youngest wife. But this time, there's no more talking, no more pretending. As the silence stretched on, Kody's frustration began to build. For a man who's used to controlling the narrative, this was uncharted territory. It was the ultimate rejection. His two wives, the ones who had stood by him through thick and thin, had turned away from him in this critical moment. What Kody didn't seem to understand in that moment was that this silence wasn't just a passive response. It was a powerful statement. A statement that said, "We are done pretending. We are done with the facade." And as the silence continued, one question loomed in the air. How far had the damage really gone? The damage had been building for years. It wasn't just one argument or one moment. It was a culmination of unmet expectations, emotional neglect, and Kody's inability to see the strain his actions had caused. And now, Meri and Janelle had had enough. But as Kody attempted to salvage the conversation, he made a chilling realization. Meri and Janelle weren't just avoiding him, they were rejecting him. And the most shocking part? They weren't afraid to admit it. This wasn't just a silent treatment. This was a reckoning. A moment of clarity for two women who had been silenced for too long. And the twist? This moment wasn't a one-time thing. It's the beginning of something much bigger, something fans may not have seen coming, the possible end of Kody's polygamous family. And it's all tied to this one painful, uncomfortable moment of silence. As expected, the internet exploded after the clip aired. Fans were split. Some praised Meri and Janelle for finally standing up for themselves, while others expressed concern that the family was falling apart. The idea of a broken Brown family resonated deeply with fans who had followed their journey for years. In an online poll, over 70% of viewers said they believed Kody's polygamous family was irreparably damaged. But there were also those who hoped Kody would step up, show remorse, and make things right. Could this moment lead to reconciliation? Or was this the end of an era? For Kody, this silence was a wake-up call, a signal that the game had changed. But for Meri and Janelle, it was a powerful moment of liberation. After years of emotional pain and unmet needs, they had reclaimed their voices, and it was something Kody had never expected. This silent treatment wasn't just about a single call. It was a turning point, a moment when the Brown family would never be the same again. And in the end, the question remains, can Kody rebuild what he's lost? Or is this the beginning of the end for the sister wives? What do you think? Is this the beginning of the end for the Brown family? Or will Kody manage to fix things before it's too late? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. For over a decade, the Brown family has been a staple of reality TV, offering a window into their unique lives. Kody, the patriarch, has been at the center of it all, juggling his relationships with his 4 wives. Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robin. At first, the world watched with fascination and curiosity as they navigated their complex family dynamics. But over the years, cracks began to show. Kody's favoritism toward Robin became evident, causing a rift with the other wives. Christine's struggles with Kody's emotional neglect reached a boiling point, and the emotional weight of being overlooked began to take its toll. Meanwhile, Meri's heartbreak over a failed catfishing scandal and her crumbling relationship with Kody led her to question her place in the family. The growing tension was palpable, and no one could ignore it anymore. But nothing could have prepared the world for what came next: Christine's cutting remark and Meri and Janelle's refusal to speak. In one seemingly innocuous moment, Christine Brown flipped the script. During a family gathering, when discussing her new husband, David, Christine made a comment about brother husbands, a playful jab at her ex-husband Kody, who had once controlled the narrative of their family. But what began as a lighthearted joke became a turning point in Christine's life and the Brown family's public image. It wasn't just the remark itself, but the confidence with which Christine delivered it. This wasn't the same woman who had been a passive participant in her marriage. This was Christine stepping into her power, laughing at the dysfunction that had plagued her family for years. The internet erupted. Fans cheered Christine on, calling it a comeback moment and a sign of her newfound independence. Her humor became a symbol of her emotional freedom, but little did anyone know, this joke was just the beginning of a much bigger shift in the Brown family dynamic. Just days after Christine's viral remark, the atmosphere in the Brown family turned icy. During a family Zoom call, a tense silence fell over Meri and Janelle. Kody tried to engage, but they refused to respond. The silent treatment wasn't just awkward, it was deliberate. This wasn't a simple disagreement. It was the manifestation of years of frustration and neglect. For Meri, it was a culmination of years of emotional isolation. After the catfishing scandal, she had tried time and time again to rebuild her relationship with Kody, but each effort was met with indifference. For Janelle, the frustration had built from years of being sidelined. Both women had been patient, had tolerated the chaos of Kody's divided attention, but now they were done. In that silent moment, Meri and Janelle were no longer afraid to show Kody just how deeply his neglect had hurt them. It wasn't just silence, it was a rejection, a refusal to continue pretending that everything was okay. The moment didn't go unnoticed. Fans flooded social media, reacting with a mixture of shock, support, and concern. On Reddit, viewers debated the significance of the silence. Some applauded Meri and Janelle for standing up for themselves, while others feared it marked the end of the Brown family. What was clear was that this moment of silence spoke louder than any words could. The divide between Kody and his wives had never been more apparent. Fans were split. Was this a healthy moment of emotional clarity, or the final nail in the coffin for a family that had already been on the brink of collapse? The fallout from these two moments, the brother husband's remark and the silent treatment, left Kody reeling. For years, he had held power over his wives, dictating the terms of their relationships. But now, something had shifted. Was it too late for him to regain their trust? Or had the Brown family finally reached a point of no return? Kody's reaction was telling. He was confused, hurt, and unsure of what to do next. But it was also a moment of self-realization. Had he failed as a husband? Had he failed to maintain the balance in his polygamous family? For Christine, Meri, and Janelle, the change was profound. They no longer needed Kody's approval. They were ready to move on. So, where does the Brown family go from here? Will Christine continue to thrive in her newfound freedom with David? Will Meri and Janelle rebuild their relationship with Kody? Or has too much damage been done? And what about Robin? Will Kody's favoritism towards her continue to tear the family apart? Christine's path to confidence wasn't immediate. It took years of struggle, of feeling unseen and unheard in her marriage to Kody. Behind that one brother-husband's remark, there was a story of pain, self-doubt, and ultimately, empowerment. She had been the rock for her children, the supportive wife in a polygamous family. But what was left of Christine after Kody's emotional neglect? Let's go back to those quiet moments when she started to question her worth. Christine started quietly pulling away. Every conversation with Kody felt like an uphill battle. He wasn't the man she had married, and she was no longer the woman she used to be. Slowly, she began to rebuild herself, not for him, but for her own happiness. Meri's isolation. Meri's situation was no less painful. After the catfishing scandal, Kody's rejection of her was more than just emotional neglect. It was a public humiliation. As the years went by, her efforts to regain his attention felt futile. In moments of isolation, Meri had to face the painful truth. She had never truly been seen by Kody, not in the way she needed. But Meri wasn't just passive in her suffering. She fought for attention, fought for validation, and still she was met with rejection. This emotional torment, mixed with her desire for a connection, pushed her to her breaking point. As Christine's brother husband's comment went viral, the conversation online exploded. Reddit threads lit up with discussions, some applauding Christine's newfound confidence, while others were skeptical, wondering if her remarks were too much. Fans flooded YouTube with analysis videos, dissecting every word Christine said, and every reaction Kody gave. One comment on Reddit stated, "Christine's freedom is inspiring. She's finally showing us who she really is." But another fan responded, "It's one thing to joke, but it feels like she's airing too much dirty laundry. Is this really her comeback? Or is she just putting on a show for us?" The divided opinions only heightened the drama surrounding the moment. Let's hear from some fans who watched the Brown family over the years. What do they think of the recent events? Is it the empowerment they've been waiting for, or a betrayal of trust? Fan 1. Christine's moment was the moment I've been waiting for. She deserves this. She's finally taking control of her life. Fan 2. I just think Kody's been put through a lot. Yes, he's made mistakes, but no family is perfect. I hope they can work through this. The silent treatment in any relationship is a powerful form of communication, whether intentional or not. Dr. Emma Jenkins, a relationship expert, explains, silence is often more than just a passive response. It's an active rejection. And in a family as complex as the Browns, it can signal something far deeper than just a fight. It's a cry for attention, for change, and for validation. Polygamy has long been a controversial topic in media, with reality TV shows like Sister Wives pushing boundaries and raising questions. But what are the cultural and legal ramifications for families like the Browns? According to cultural analyst Dr. Louise Franklin, this type of relationship dynamic was never meant to be displayed on a global stage. The emotional complexities, the guilt, and the pressure to conform are immense. The Browns might be portraying one form of family, but they are simultaneously breaking the norms of our society. Behind closed doors, what was going on inside the minds of Meri and Janelle as they sat in silence? Was this their final statement to Kody, or was it simply the breaking point of years of emotional neglect? Could Kody's failure to recognize the damage he's caused be the final nail in the coffin? Or will the Brown family find a way to rebuild? The answers might surprise you as we dive deeper into the family's future. But before we answer that, let's look at what's happening behind the scenes. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear. The Brown family, as we knew it, is forever changed. These pivotal moments, Christine's brother-husband's joke, and Meri and Janelle's silence, may be the beginning of a new chapter for each of them. But for Kody, it's the start of a painful reckoning. What do you think? Has the Brown family reached the end of the line? Or is there hope for reconciliation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more in-depth looks into the lives of your favorite reality stars. Stay tuned for the next chapter in this unforgettable journey.